as I've been looking at like SA resources online, like on Reddit, here on TikTok, other places, it's occurred to me that like I think it would be potentially really helpful to like come up with the term complex essay. But it seems like a lot of resources for essay are targeted towards people who have like essay as a big T trauma. So like they're kind of going about their life and then this assault or um, other form of essay occurs and it's like they can pinpoint it in their calendar or on a timeline of this is when it happened, this is when things changed. So they have that like, here's me before and here's how I was after. And so to me that seems a lot like other like big T traumas, like people might say like before and after our house burnt down, or before and after that severe car accident, or before and after the cancer diagnosis and things like that. It's not my experience, so for me, I think I would benefit from seeing mine as a complex essay because there wasn't this, well, like I do have like physical essay, and so there was like I could kind of put that on a timeline, but I also have this covert essay, which was like kind of this daily kind of like sexual harassment that was happening to me from the time I was like 9 until I was like 15 by my stepdad. And it was very subtle compared to something like Grape, but it was very good, like chronic. And I think because it started happening before I had really hit puberty or adolescence, in that sense, to where I would start to have like my own interest in boys, or in like adult activities, or like daydreaming about kissing people, or anything like that. Like it happened before, when I was too little to have like reached that phase of my development. Then the way that I was reacting to that abuse kind of got baked into what I thought was just my personality, or my like how I related to my body and how I related to my own sexuality. And I think there's like pros and cons to that. Like I think in a way, as a kid, like I didn't realize how harmful it was. I knew it felt really bad, but I thought it was mostly normal, and like I didn't feel like something was really obviously taken from me because I never knew what I should have had. Like it was taken from me before I had started to develop it, if that makes sense. And so there's not that terrible sense of loss that I had to feel while still a child. I was able to kind of live in delusion a little bit while I was living it, and I think that's probably somewhat protective, to not have to like really see and feel and understand the context and the full wound that you're experiencing. Even though there's also downsides of it, I guess, because you're also then like kind of gaslighting your own pain because you think this should be more normal. But in a way, I think it was protective that I didn't see how bad it was. And then on the other hand, it's really unfortunate because you think that the damage you've taken on is just you, and you don't know who you really are because it didn't develop before the wound happened, or the wounds started happening. And I haven't been able to come across very many people at all who kind of have this like sexual harassment experience as a child, like chronic sexual harassment from somebody in their home. But I've started to wonder if maybe it might actually be like more similar to people who grow up in like really like sex repulsed cultures, or in like extreme purity culture or something like that, to where this, like, before you have a chance to develop, you're like given this ugly view of what like adult relations are, basically. And that's kind of interesting because I've always kind of been very interested in like the Duggars and other like stories like that. I've never really understood why, but maybe that's because, like, maybe I was kind of drawn to that because I could see a little bit of a parallel, even though mine wasn't like pushed on me from like religious purposes, and wasn't brainwashed. It was just an impact, like a response that I was having to this ongoing trauma of being sexually harassed and blamed for it.